this is a public service environment. We're going to provide a lot of value to everybody who's on today, regardless of what company you work for. And if it's okay with you, Sam, I'll go ahead and share my screen and get started.
Yeah, love it.
Chris, you want to say hi before we get rolling?
Yeah, no, I want to say hi to everybody. It's Chris Gurnee with Chris Gurnee Team EXP here in Seattle. Again, you guys probably saw some of the information. I've been doing this for about 19 years. I've got about 15 years of REO experience. So definitely with the partnership with AnnieMac and Sam, we're definitely going to be able to, I feel, give a lot of value to you guys today. And then without further ado, I'm just going to open it up and let you kind of take the floor, and I'll answer any questions and be as much help as possible to anybody that's made it today.
And guys, you need to know right off the bat, we're not selling anything here. There's no coaching programs that get dropped on you. There's no credit card asked to slide. This is Sam and Chris investing in the local market. They brought me in with some industry insider knowledge because I work for a mortgage servicing company and I work with these asset managers all the time. And at the end of the day, there's opportunity here we want to share with you. So having said that, please interrupt me. Please play devil's advocate. Please, ask questions, especially Chris and Sam. If you have anything you want to poke holes in or talk about, I'm eager to share ideas about it. I just shared my screen. Let's see if this public service announcement will come up. Just give me the green light, Sam, that you can see that little blue screen. All right.
Yep, got it.
And I'm going to shrink this for now just so it doesn't take up any space. This really is a public service announcement. So many agents that I meet today, even some of the top earners, are kind of frustrated by the lack of listing inventory comparative to the number of buyer inquiries. You can imagine, I hear real estate agents, every day tell me that they've got 100 buyers, but they got nobody will, can find a house. I don't know how severe that inventory crunch remains in the Seattle metro or the Washington state markets, but I know that agents with listings typically out earn agents without listings. Listings seem to produce a higher income per hour in most markets than working buyers. And one more time, shout out to Sam Borthwick at AnnieMac Home Mortgage for sponsoring this. That's why I coached 1,500 realtors during the first crash that I was involved in 2007, 8, 9, and 10. And we were charging $1,500 a month, and people were willingly paying for this type of leadership at the individual agent and brokerage level. Sam is picking up the tab for this in conjunction with Chris Gurnee and his team. So you might want to jot down the 206 number in front of your screen before we dig too far deep into this, because he's going to become a trusted partner and an advocate for your success. Our success truly is measured by yours. I took the liberty, Chris, of going on your website and digging around a little bit, and I found my favorite picture of you with the 113 sales in the last 12 months. I'm sure that you probably got 200 sales in the last 12 months. This might be an old one, but I wanted to honor your production because in earnest, I visit with realtors every day of my career, and I very rarely get to meet a team that is as efficient and effective as yours. And I'm going to endorse this one more time later on, not to blow a lot of sunshine at Chris, but really just to honor the few minutes that we got to spend together last month when we were preparing the idea of this. And I could tell you there's stuff that I learned about lead conversion, about time blocking, about prioritization, and about setting your missions clear because of Chris's advocacy for professionalism, goal setting, and most importantly, I think you used the term cadence. Like, what is the schedule that you're working when you're out working? And Chris, it's an honor to be here. 206-949-0864. If you want to talk to Chris about joining his team or even just joining the organization off of his team, there's so many opportunities with him. My name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm probably the oldest guy in the building today. I'm going on 35 years in the residential real estate space. I've sold and closed about 3,500 individual single family condos and houses, actual transactions. And, in my heyday at REMAX and at my brokerage that I owned and operated, my brokerage sold about 350 homes a month. We were listed in the top 250 brokerages in the country. And I also had the privilege of being in the REMAX organization for most of my career, where I was selling about 160 homes a year. That's my beautiful wife. She has a degree in a master's degree in education, and she helped put this curriculum together that takes all of the best practices from guys like Chris that we meet, a guy named Saku Pyle up in New York that sells 500 homes a year, Karen, my friend in Bethesda, Maryland, who sells 250 homes a year. And what we decided to do as a team is just honor you guys as realtors and say, well, if a mortgage bank invested more heavily in our realtor partners, could it become a brighter win-win for them? So I'm going to show you something funny. I get a laugh out of this one because you see the old guy here, but then that's my professional shot back in 1986 when I went to work for Prudential White's Realty in Margate, Florida, southeast Florida, about 25 minutes northwest of Fort Lauderdale. And I started my career like everybody else, just hunting and pecking and, buying leads. Back then I was buying my leads from the Sun Sentinel Classified, if you could believe that. But we also had one pivotal thing happen that I'm going to share with you. It was the fall of 1986. I had only been licensed for 6 or 8 months. And my sales manager recommended that I make an application to Kislak Mortgage and their REO servicing division. Well, I didn't have the confidence to do that personally. I didn't have the financial capacity to pay for the locks to be changed or the roof to be put on, and all the cumbersome things about being an REO agent were just too intimidating to me as a young person. And Mary, one of the great mentors of my life, encouraged me and wrote a personal letter of endorsement, a letter of recommendation to the Kislak Mortgage REO division. And lo and behold, a little zit-faced kid received his first REO listing in the winter months of 1987. Within a year, I had bought a single-family home on my own at 19, and my dad, who was a police officer at Fort Lauderdale PD, who had never made more than $38,000 as a major, which was a leader in the organization, to be paid under 40 grand back then. He thought I was a drug dealer. I'm telling you honest, that was not the case, but my dad actually thought that I must be doing something nefarious if I was getting that many paychecks. Well, I sold 16 homes for Kislak Mortgage that year, and it blossomed my career in a big, powerful way. And part of this public service announcement is to let you know that if you're willing to do the work, that very few people, if you ever see all the sheep going this way, they're probably going off a cliff. Be the little, opposite direction sheep and do some things that other people aren't currently doing. And I'll bet you'll find you'll be handsomely rewarded, as I was and continue to be across the 35 years of my career. I don't want to be too long on this, but 9 to 12 buyer inquiries that are highly motivated per week, per listing. You're talking about an extra 40 or 50 buyer inquiries that come in off of these listings that are just, bombard you with very high quality, sometimes cash and well-financed offers. So you become a store with inventory by working in this arena, and that inventory attracts many, many more consumers. I think Chris will attest to that. And again, please don't hesitate to raise your hand and open up dialogue about anything we cover. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts now. There is a wave of foreclosures happening in 2022. About 1.7 million are outside of their forbearance periods now. And that means of the 3 million families that are behind in their mortgage payment for one reason or another, most industry insiders are recommending that there's going to be a little bit of bumpy waters ahead That doesn't mean that the economy is going to crash. That doesn't mean that the inflation rates are going to arbitrarily drop, or the Fed isn't going to continue to raise interest rates, because it's likely that we're all going to be in a 5 or 6 or 7% interest rate market by the end of this calendar year. I don't want to put a gloom and doom, but if I saw the inflationary issues that this administration is facing, the Fed is probably likely to continue to raise interest rates. So if you're on the fence about buying, buy now. Try to get with Sam and lock in your rates, because this is a helter-skelter environment when somebody got pre-qualified at 3.5 and now it's going to go to 4.5 or more. So please be aware that this market is changing underfoot. Part of that change is the foreclosures, but I don't in any way, shape, or form want any realtor who's on today to believe that AnnieMac Home Mortgage is predicting a bust or a slam in the market. Okay, we don't. We just know, I hope you hear this one, that a certain percentage of families go into foreclosure every year without any hardships in the economy. And we had a 2-year delay because of COVID where the banks weren't allowed to foreclose. So that foreclosure moratorium created a glut. And the glut is what we're here to talk to you about. It's not that there's a bust of foreclosures and it's going to hell in a handbasket, excuse my French. It's more that the natural numbers of foreclosures that would have happened in Washington state for all of the mortgages in the state are triple during 2022, because you got all the families that were involved in 20, 21, and 22. So that's 3 times, no matter if nothing happened, you'd have 3 times the number of foreclosures. So I'm a student of this industry, as I think many of you probably need to be, to stay ahead of the market conditions. And I implore you to dig into some of these facts. In Washington state, I'm not going to try to pronounce Osaton, Assaton, Pacific. Oh, I'm going to give up right there. But you've got the counties on your screen that have the highest number of foreclosures in Washington state. You also have the Oregon foreclosures, just as a courtesy for any of our agents from the Pacific Northwest that are also licensed in Oregon. It's Douglas and Clackamas and Washington counties and Coos and whatnot. So what we're seeing is a true hockey stick trajectory change in the foreclosure filings in every county in America. That means that where there were 0 or a teeny percentile of folks that navigated the foreclosure process in 21, you've got all the inventory for 20, all the inventory from 21, and all the inventory from 22 being released into your market over the next several months. And I would say that the next 6 to 18 months are going to be the height of that increased demand. So think about 2,000 properties a month, maybe even 3,000 properties a month statewide that are going to be liquidated by these asset managers over the next 6 to 18 months. For my cynics, my folded arms, furrowed brow realtors in the room, I've got the benefit of research behind me. Today, as respect to Chris, I went on and did an 11:42 a.m. search on the Eastern Seaboard, and it came up with hundreds of properties in Seattle that are